The movie starts off in a spooky antique shop where a terrified man named Petey Shelburne stumbles in, his clothes stained with blood. He's clutching a drum-playing monkey doll and tells the shopkeeper that it's not his blood. Petey explains that he's here to return the doll, but the shopkeeper refuses, citing a no-returns policy on children's toys. Petey insists that it's not a toy and that something terrible happens when the monkey starts drumming. Suddenly, the doll springs to life, playing its drum and sending chills down both their spines. For a few tense minutes, nothing happens. But then a nearby mouse chews through a wire, causing a gun to fire and impale the shopkeeper. His intestines are gruesomely pulled out as the harpoon retracts. A panicked Petey grabs a flamethrower and desperately tries to torch the cursed doll. Next, we meet twin brothers, Bill and Hal, who clearly have a tumultuous relationship. Hal narrates that Bill is the older sibling by 3 minutes, and he constantly belittles and bullies him. They live with their single mother, Lois, since their father abandoned them long ago for unknown reasons. One day, the boys stumble upon their dad's belongings, including Petey's uniform, hinting that he might be their estranged father. They also find a mysterious box containing the same cursed monkey doll. Hal notices a note instructing them to go to the hospital, and despite his hesitation, Bill wastes no time in turning the key, causing the monkey to grin creepily and raise its drumstick, though it doesn't strike the drum. The next day, their mother sends the boys out with a nanny to eat at a restaurant, as she has a date that night. Hal notices the eerie monkey doll already in the back seat of the car, and during the meal, it suddenly activates and begins playing its drum, only to abruptly stop. Meanwhile, inside the restaurant, the chef accidentally decapitates one of the customers, Annie, while swinging his knife, leaving everyone horrified. The scene then cuts to the nanny's funeral, and adult Hal narrates that this incident drove him and his brother further apart. Afterward, their mother tries to convince the boys that the monkey is not a living being, but Hal's philosophical response is that life is unpredictable and everything can go to hell at any moment. To lighten the mood, the three return home and start dancing, and Hal explains that despite the tragedy, it was the happiest day of his life. Days later, Hal is in class when he unexpectedly finds the monkey doll in his backpack, causing a commotion among his classmates. During gym class, a group of bullies led by Bill start pelting Hal with bananas and mocking him. Furious, Hal returns home and confronts the monkey doll, accusing it of causing all the problems and declaring that he hates his brother Bill. Overcome with anger, he turns the key on the doll, wishing Bill were dead. At the same time, Bill arrives home, and the monkey starts pounding its drum. Bill then finds their mother baking in the kitchen, only for her to suddenly suffer a fatal aneurysm and collapse on the floor. Later, a somber Hal narrates that the doctor called it a boomerang aneurysm, a rare phenomenon that occurs in 1 out of 44 million people. Hal knows the truth. The cursed monkey doll is responsible for the tragic deaths in their family, not just some freak accidents. After their mother, Lois's funeral, the twins are adopted by their Aunt Ida and Uncle Chip, who try to cheer them up. That night, Hal decides he must get rid of the doll for good. He starts brutally dismembering it, horrified to see blood oozing out as he relentlessly breaks it into pieces. He then stuffs the remains into a garbage bag, ensuring every fragment is hauled away. The next day, the family moves to a new house far away. But that night, Bill spots the creepy monkey doll outside the window, much to Hal's disbelief. Bill accuses Hal of bringing it, but Hal insists he destroyed it completely. He explains to Bill that the doll is cursed and responsible for their nanny's and mother's deaths. Wondering if the curse kills the person who turns the key, Bill decides to try it out, despite Hal's warnings. As a result, they lose their uncle, who was tragically trampled by 67 horses while he was sleeping in the woods. The twins finally realize the monkey is behind all these horrific incidents. Knowing they can't destroy it easily, they decide to contain it instead. They bind the doll tightly in its box and throw it into an abandoned well, hoping to leave the nightmare behind for good. 25 years later, the twins are all grown up, and their Aunt Ida is asleep in bed when strange noises startle her awake. She grabs a gun to investigate, but on her way back upstairs, the stairs collapse and hooks sink into her face, causing excruciating pain. As she cleans her wounds, a strong gas odor fills the air. When she brought her head close to the stove, suddenly her face and head caught fire, and she quickly ran outside to find a way to extinguish it. She rushes out of the house, only to be impaled by a "for sale" sign. Meanwhile, adult Hal works at a supermarket and requests to leave early to see his son, Petey. However, Hal's ex-wife and her new boyfriend, Ted, coldly accuse him of never being present for their son. They reveal that Ted plans to legally adopt Petey, and Hal won't get to see him anymore. Hal's rage boils over, leading to a heated exchange. Elsewhere, a boy named Ricky comes across the cursed monkey doll at a garage sale. He's drawn to it, as it reminds him of his father, who vanished years ago. It turns out Ricky was hired by a mysterious man who never leaves his house to find the doll. Back at the motel, Hal and Petey don't seem to know each other well. When Petey asks about Hal's family, Hal lies and claims to be an only child, clearly uncomfortable discussing his late mother. Around midnight, Hal suddenly receives a call from Bill, his estranged brother whom he hasn't seen or spoken to in nearly a decade. Hal steps out to take the call, and when he returns to the motel room, Bill informs Hal about their Aunt Ida's recent death and instructs him to go to her house to ensure the monkey isn't there. This annoys Hal as he doesn't want to miss spending time with his son, Petey. Just then, Hal notices a woman about to swim in the pool, and he spots a broken compressor on the roof that's about to fall, potentially electrocuting the pool water. Realizing the monkey has returned, Hal rushes to wake up Petey, insisting they need to leave immediately. They scramble into the car, and Hal explains that they need to go to Aunt Ida's house to handle her affairs. The next morning, they arrive at the house, where a realtor named Barbara greets them. She reveals that Hal's brother had informed her they would be coming, much to Petey's surprise, as he learns that Hal had lied about having a brother. Barbara then takes them inside and explains that since Aunt Ida's death, the town has been plagued by a series of horrific, bizarre accidents claiming several lives each day. As they explore the house, Barbara opens a stuck closet door, and Hal senses something ominous is about to happen. Soon after, the police arrive, and a female officer questions Hal, warning him not to leave town until the investigation is complete. Paramedics are seen removing Barbara's remains from the house, while a group of cheerleaders and students are inexplicably cheering. Frustrated, Hal searches the house for the monkey doll to no avail. He then stumbles upon a phone number listed under Mrs. Monkey in the town directory and dials it, only to hear Bill's voice on the other end. Bill's voicemail message indicates that he has already found his beloved toy monkey and doesn't need to hire anyone. Hal finally realizes that his brother Bill is responsible for the town's massacre and deliberately lured him there. In a flashback, we see that 25 years ago, after they had dumped the monkey doll in the well, Bill went back to retrieve it, seeking revenge on Hal for turning the key, which led to their mother's death. Though the doll was gone, Bill was confident it would return one day. In the present, Bill turns the monkey's key, hoping it will finally kill the right person, his brother Hal. But the doll takes a twisted turn and causes the death of Hal's boss instead, who chokes violently on his cigar. At this moment, a young man named Ricky arrives at Bill's house, claiming he saw Hal and wants to return the $15 he was paid to find the monkey doll, as it reminds him of his own missing father. However, an annoyed Bill dismisses Ricky and orders him to leave. Furious, the young man named Ricky storms back home, dons his father's police uniform, and grabs a gun, determined to get the cursed monkey doll back by any means necessary. Elsewhere, Hal and Petey arrive at a motel, where Hal angrily dials his brother Bill's number. Hal tells Bill that he's aware he already has the monkey and offers to help him take it back, hoping this will lead to a resolution. However, Bill demands that Hal bring Petey to him so the boy can turn the doll's key. Bill suspects that whoever winds the key is immune to being the next victim, and he promises to let Petey turn it to keep him safe. Otherwise, Bill threatens to keep winding the key until Hal is killed, no matter who else dies in the town as a result. Faced with this dilemma, Hal decides to drop Petey off at his mother's place, but this only leads to an argument. Petey accuses his father of not caring about him, while Hal tries to explain that he has a lot of bad things going on and doesn't want to pass them on to his son. Suddenly, there's a loud knock at the door, and it's Ricky, who is pretending to be a cop, and immediately points a gun at them, demanding that they come with him. Ricky forces Petey to go inside Bill's house and retrieve the monkey doll, threatening to shoot them both if they don't comply. Petey enters the house through the back door and navigates a series of booby traps, skillfully avoiding them. Outside, Hal begins questioning Ricky, who finally admits that he's not a cop. Suddenly, both of them notice a massive wasp nest directly in front of them, sending shivers down their spines. Inside the house, Petey meets up with his uncle Bill, who shows him the doll and explains that it was his favorite toy as a child. Bill claims the doll is no longer working and begs Petey to fix it by turning the key. Despite his father's warning, Petey eventually gives in to the pressure and turns the key. The monkey jolts to life and begins playing its drum horrifyingly, while the wasp nest outside starts lowering. Ricky accidentally fires at the nest, and the wasps immediately swarm and attack him, leading to a violent death. A terrified Hal calls out for his son, and as Bill hears his brother's voice, he realizes his plan has failed once again. In a fit of rage, Bill grabs the monkey and fires it, causing the wasp to be shot down. He then forces the creepy doll to play the drum, hoping to kill Hal, but the doll suddenly overpowers him and throws him away. Hal enters through the back door and reunites with Petey, but they're horrified to see the monkey's drum playing at an insane, frantic speed. When the music finally stops, Bill looks outside and is shocked to see the monkey's curse has spread across the town, causing numerous accidents and killing people en masse. Debris from a collapsing structure above him rains down, and dead bodies are thrown through the wreckage. Hal arrives, furious at what his brother has done, but Bill, overcome with regret, confesses that he only wanted Hal to pay for what happened to their mother. He accuses Hal of being responsible for her death, and even knows that Hal intended to kill him instead. Upon hearing this, Hal becomes emotional, insisting that she was his mother too, and that he never meant for any of it to happen. Hal apologizes to Bill, saying they should have been there for each other during difficult times, but it's not too late to repair their relationship. Bill realizes Hal has a point and apologizes with a heavy heart. The brothers finally reconcile and mend their long-strained bond. Hal then invites Bill to join him and Petey on a road trip, which the latter excitedly agrees to. However, just as a glimmer of hope settles in, the monkey's arm suddenly strikes the drum one last time, triggering a hidden booby trap that shoots a bowling ball towards Bill's head, killing him instantly. The next morning, the father and son set off on their road trip, witnessing the horrific aftermath of the monkey's rampage, charred ruins, mangled bodies, and a world torn apart overnight. Determined to break the cycle, Hal and Petey decide to keep the monkey close and ensure that no one ever turns the key again. As they drive, they encounter an old man with ashes flickering off his back, and the monkey's severed head is on the ground. Before the film ends, a bus full of cheerleaders passes by, resulting in another one of the 100 worst ways to die.